What is up, guys? It's DoubleWinning, and today I've got my first impressions of the new champ Jinx that just came out. Personally, like right off the bat, I don't really know why I'm not moving at all right now, but either way, I think Jinx is incredibly strong. Like, no joke, like go out and buy her right now. I don't even like AD carry, and I enjoy playing her. I'm not even good at AD carry, and I still felt like I was doing pretty well on her. This game in particular isn't the best example that I could have, but it is sure entertaining to watch. Their Xin Zhao disconnects pretty early in the game. It's a support Xin Zhao, and they were going for a pretty early game, as you can see as he started a Doran's Blade. I apologize, it's my phone blowing up. I'm Mr. Popular. Yeah, and basically to go over her skills here, you'll see in a little bit here that we're going to basically outplay the Jinx, just like completely destroy her, and then we find Xin Zhao and we're like, oh, he'll be going in pretty soon here, and then it turns out that he's actually just DC'd. So I hit him a little bit here, and then I back off because I'm like, oh no, like let's not kill him because he's DC'd. But then the creeps kind of just finish him off, and I end up getting the killing blow anyway. But if you look, I stopped attacking. If you look at her skills, her passive, at first I was like 175% speed, like what is that even going to look like, you know? And it's pretty cool. I can definitely see like a better player using it to their advantage. I didn't realize you get it also on towers. I find that out later on. But so like if you're in a team fight scenario and you get a kill, it allows you to reposition really, really quickly. So what this kind of allows you to do is be a little bit more aggressive, because the only real weakness she has is she doesn't have a natural gap closer like Lucian, Corki, Graves, like how they all have like little different types of gap closers. So having this like 175% movement speed buff when she gets a kill or destroys a tower is really, really good. So it allows you to kind of be a little aggressive when you're going for a kill, but then at the same time you don't really need to, because the rest of her kit allows her to stay at a ridiculous range. Her Q is switcheroo, and you basically switch between the rocket launcher, which is you do a little bit extra damage, and then it has a splash damage, but the big thing is you gain attack range. Her base attack range is 525, but at rank 5 you gain 175 range. Like a little quick math there, that's 700 range. To put that in perspective, Caitlyn's base range is 750. Tristana gets just a little bit over 700, and so does, I believe, Kog'Maw with his W activated. So, and the downsides to these are that Tristana, it takes her, level 18. It's about like level 12 when she starts getting the really good attack ranges. But you just need 5 ranks in Q. Like already right here, you see rank 3, I'm getting 125 range. So right now, at level 5, I have Caitlyn's range. So already I've nullified like that disadvantage or advantage or whatever that Caitlyn has. The downside too with the rocket launcher though is it does drain mana, which is good because it takes about 20 mana per rocket, which as an AD carry you're not really going to be building mana, so it's not something you can be constantly using, especially since her other skills do take mana as well. However, the minigun part of her Q is absolutely ridiculous. You basically stack up attack speed as you're attacking, and then stacks fall off one at a time and only benefit Jinx's first attack after switching to rocket launcher. What this means is they allowed it so when you switch to rocket launcher after having like fully stacked up your minigun, you're not just gonna like fire your rocket launcher incredibly fast, but it's still going to feel kind of fluid when you switch to the rocket launcher and fire, because you're going to have a quicker reset to your next attack because of that attack speed boost that you have. You get a ton. I think it ends up being like 120%, I want to say. Maybe my numbers are a little bit off there, but you get the point there. It's a huge steroid that is really, really easy to build up, and it falls off really, really slow. If you look at some of the stronger like build-up stacks on other AD carries, one that notably comes to mind is Graves' True Grit. It falls off pretty easily. Like once you fall out of combat, it takes about 3 seconds. But hers, they fall off one at a time, which makes it so like you can rebuild them really, really quickly, and you have to actually be like genuinely completely out of combat for yourself to lose all the stacks. So I think that makes Jinx incredibly strong here. As well as, we gotta click back on me. Oh, I'm dead here, so I'm just going to fast forward to me coming back alive. And there we go. Okay. But that's enough on her Q. Like, that all is just her Q, which is pretty redonkulous. Excuse me one second here. Like, that's pretty dang good. But then if we go to her W, which is Zap, it has a decent mana cost, like not too big, not too small, and basically what it is, it's a skill shot, a straight line skill shot that kind of gives a little warning that it's going to shoot there, much like Lucian's, except Lucian's, the warning is like Lucian's. It's not a skill shot, or it is a skill shot, unlike Lucian's, and it takes about a game to get used to on how it works, because you fire it, and then it kind of makes an animation. I'm making hand motions you can't even see. It makes an animation, but then the laser fires out after that. So it's not that hard to hit, but it's definitely not like just like, oh, I hit it. But I think it was kind of an improvement on Lucian's, because Lucian's is a skill shot, so you can't not a skill shot, excuse me. So you can't like mind game people. It's like you just click them and then they just have to dodge. Like, it's up to their skill as opposed to your skill with the ability. It does a lot of damage. It has a really, really nice AD ratio. I think it's a 1.4 or something like that. And then it has pretty decent base damage. But what's really nice about it is it has a slow on it, and it gives true sight. So earlier in the game, you probably saw me use it on Shaco when he was stealth, and it ended up revealing him. That's really, really good. Like, that's like so much that they stacked into another skill. Kind of just further proving, that Jinx is incredibly strong right now. Not only that, but to go back on the Q, like, she clears waves so fast, and she takes out towers so fast. So look at, like, I know it's on 2x speed right now, but you can just take a guess, like, on how fast she's pushing, because she gets that huge attack speed boost. Like, right now, with 3 stacks, I'm up to 1.64 attack speed. That's absolutely ridiculous for pushing towers, and I'm level 10. And I have, a ton of AD. But I understand I'm also really, really fed this game, so that's why I said this isn't the best example for a game, but you can still kind of understand that she is really strong. The one thing I do like about her W, though, that they could have made it like absolutely stupid broken, is that it only hits the first target that it hits. Or it only hits the first target that hits. Words are hard, but it's only going to affect the first target it hits. It's not like a railgun where it goes through and affects everyone. So there is a little bit of outplay potential there, as well as it being a skill shot. You can outplay that. Her third skill, excuse me here, that's not the one I wanted. Her third skill is Flame Chompers, and if you think about it, it's kind of like Caitlyn's traps, except for you fire out 3 of them, like she just used it on me, and they snare. They do okay damage. They have a whatever, like I think they have like a 0.4 or something AP ratio. I don't know, not really that big of a deal. And they do pretty good damage. They're really, really fluid when you're using the skill. So, like, you can just kind of throw them out. And they actually have really, surprisingly long range. Here, I'll see if I can see the range here. No, you can't see the range. But they have pretty decent cooldown. So I'm glad that they didn't just make it a super low cooldown. And you can actually use them a lot easier. They're a lot more newbie-friendly for using in battle. Like, if you're using Caitlyn traps, you can use them in battle. It's just sometimes a little bit more difficult if you're new to the champ. But for her, you can literally just throw them on people, and it'll snap onto them after they've armed, which is really, really nice. And it snares, which I kind of disagreed with. I think that they probably should have just slowed again, but we'll see. We'll see what Riot decides to do, because she's definitely going to get nerfed, so if you're looking to play her, I would play her soon. And then, lastly, we go to her ultimate, which is, I think, a really satisfying skill. It's Super Mega Death Rocket. She fires a rocket that has global range, and over the first second it travels, it gains damage. So, like, if you're using it point blank, you're going to do the minimum damage. If it's traveled for at least a second, it's going to do the max damage. Plus, it does a huge execute damage. You can see here, the rank 2 is an extra 30% of the target's missing health, and it does splash damage, which like a hefty amount of splash damage, which I thought was good and bad. The good about that is it seems like a skill that's going to be pretty easy to balance, because you can just shift around the numbers a little bit, and its animation super satisfying. You literally just fire a super mega death rocket. It's global, so you can try and make plays with that. You can fire it into a team fight if you're not there on time. You're going to hit with the max damage. You're going to do a ton of splash damage, and it's a pretty wide missile, so it's not really hard to hit, and it's not really like thickly, kind of like Graves' ultimate. How it seems like it has a pretty big AoE, but then you see like those really embarrassing misses sometimes. It doesn't seem like it's really that hard of a skill to hit. I'm not saying Graves' ult is hard to hit, but you guys can't say you haven't played more than 20 games of Graves and never just whiffed an ultimate that you have no idea how you missed, you know? So I definitely think Jinx is going to get nerfed. Do I enjoy the champion? Absolutely. I think she's hilarious. I think all of her skills are pretty dang satisfying. I think she definitely is. One thing I'm glad is that she doesn't have like a mini gap closer that it seems like a lot of champions recently have gotten. So Riot kind of decided to mix it up and give her different things to try and balance that out. So I definitely do think she's going to get nerfed. But you know, I think Riot did a pretty good job with this champion. I didn't really enjoy what I saw from Lucian. I haven't bought the champion yet. I didn't really enjoy what I saw from Quinn. I think I own Quinn. I probably only played her 1 or 2 games, but I didn't really enjoy. So it's nice to see an AD carry that I actually enjoy. I think the last one I really enjoyed was probably maybe Graves. But if you remember Release Graves, how he was super good. It kind of reminds me to Jinx right now. She's really strong, and so if you're looking for an AD carry that's really going to do some work, I definitely would check out Jinx. Also, her auto attack animation with the minigun is really good, like really good with kiting. And then her rocket launcher animation is a little awkward sometimes because when you're switching around, the attack speed, like gain and loss, is kind of weird. But if you guys enjoyed my first impressions of Jinx here, be sure to leave a like, comment, and if you're new here, be sure to subscribe. I really appreciate you guys checking out my videos. You guys have a good one.